dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
More than a week after Black Jewel Mining filed for bankruptcy protection, hundreds of miners still do not have answers, no work, and no payments for their last 3 weeks of work. Many attended a meeting in Letcher County today looking for those answers. WYMT's Connor James was there and has more from our newsroom. Connor?
Steve, it's a time of uncertainty for these miners. They have families to feed, bills to pay, and like you mentioned, 3 weeks of work at unpaid wages. On top of that, many of these miners cannot access their 401ks. Many are left without answers in the wake of the Black Jewel bankruptcy. This meeting in Letcher County hoping to provide a glimpse of hope.
This shutdown was very different from other shutdowns and layoffs that have happened.
When the mine shut down, they did not issue a warn notice, and they technically did not lay off any of these miners. On top of that, the checks they were given bounced. Many of these miners worked for 3 weeks that they have not been paid for.
Previous check was about, anywhere from $2,000 plus, and this next check that we're going to be getting, it's it's probably around, $1,500, $1,800, I would say.
Josh Hallbrook, a father of 3, says he's going to pursue legal action for those unpaid wages. He, like many, will also be looking for a new job.
They can go to their career centers and they can get help with finding a job, doing job search. If they want to look for another job, they can also help them with different training programs.
All those miners have to do is simply walk in, and workers at those centers will help them. Now, Steve, all those miners are asked to hold on to their pay stubs, keep a record of any letters they write to Black Jewel, basically any sort of material surrounding this. Those will help build an investigation and build a legal case.
All right, Connor James in our newsroom, thank you. A Southern Kentucky grandmother is facing criminal abuse charges for how she allegedly treated her grandson early this morning. Police in Laurel County say the grandmother told her 11-year-old grandson to leave in the middle of the night. New at 6, WYMT's Phil Pendleton tells us what the boy did to get help.
That 11-year-old was found at a business here in London, a business that asked us not to identify them. But the 11-year-old walked from a home in Lilly 8 miles to that business here in London asking for help. Now, that all began around 1 o'clock this morning when police say the grandmother basically kicked him out of the house. Police say they are still investigating the circumstances, but they say that an argument between Patricia Rose and the grandson ended with her telling him to leave. Now, he walked away from their home on Rita Lane in Lilly, that's just north of Corbin, onto Laurel Whitley Road, then onto US 25. Police say something really bad could have happened to the boy on that very busy roadway.
She should have sat him down and talked to him, put him in timeout, anything that she wanted to do, but not ask him to leave the residence. And she didn't even notify 911 that he had left the residence or that he was gone.
Patricia Rose remains in the Laurel County Jail on felony charges of criminal abuse first degree. We are told the 11-year-old was placed with other relatives by social services. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Rose says she did not want to talk to us about the charges from the Laurel County Jail.
Well, it's been another hot and humid day, of course, here in the mountains. We still have that heat advisory in effect as well. As you go ahead and take a look at UVA-wise, you can see those showers they've gotten a few showers over there, which has cooled them off just a little bit. But as we look up into Stonecrest, they've seen plenty of sunshine today. So definitely very hot and very humid over there. Seeing temperatures into about those upper 80s to lower 90s. You'll notice a little bit cooler looking down to the south and to the east in parts of Harlan, Middlesboro, and Bell County, Jonesville, and Wise too. Wise at a cooler 79 degrees, so I'm sure they're pretty thankful for a few of those pop-up showers and storms. Most of us feeling those mid to upper 90s, feeling like 98 up into Ashland, 97 into Richmond, and feels like 101 looking down into Monticello. Not too bad over there in Wise, though, as like I said, they've dealt with a few of those pop-up showers and storms. There's that heat advisory. This goes until 7 o'clock, so still about an hour on it. That's for our friends up into Lawrence County, Kentucky, and over into Wayne County, West Virginia. You see Charleston's in that as well. Satellite and radar there's a few of those pop-up showers and storms throughout the day. A few of few of us saw a few clouds as well. That's kept us a little bit on the cooler side for some. Now, those rain chances do look to increase as we head into your Thursday, which is some good news. Some relief is on the way, but that means more showers and storms are expected for your Thursday. I'll look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve.
All right, Paige, thank you. Tenants at Myers Towers in Pikeville have messaged us recently with concerns about their living conditions. They say an issue with bed bugs is costing them a lot of heartache and a lot of money. WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to one tenant about the situation and to those in charge to see how they are addressing the issue.
Losing furniture.
People on fixed incomes can't afford to lose what they have.
And losing their sense of security.
Over time, 7 years, I've had bed bugs. Year after year after year.
Myers Towers tenants say the building in Pike County, apartments designated for people who are elderly or disabled, has been battling a bed bug issue for years.
We're dealing with a whole epidemic here. Every week is furniture piled up.
Those in charge of the apartment complex say they are aware of the issues at hand.
Bed bugs are a problem all over the country, and yes, we have some issues.
Saying anywhere from 15 to 35 apartments are impacted.
It's case by case. The whole building is not infested.
Executive Director Jim Hobbs says 2 of the maintenance workers in the building have been specially trained to take care of the bugs.
When we find them, we put them on our list and treat them accordingly.
He said plans for a new heat chamber are also in the works to allow them to kill any bugs that may be on the tenant's furniture.
We care because nobody wants to live with any kind of bug.
Hobbs said the tenants also have a role to play in keeping the bed bugs down, from reporting any issues to being cautious of the items they bring in.
I think we should do our part, yeah, and I do my part, and that does fall on us. You know, I'm not going to say it's 100% them.
Hobbs also said the tenants and workers have to come together to keep the beds bug-free. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Hobbs said they have also partnered with an exterminator to help combat the problem. Now to an update on a story we first told you about yesterday. A jail guard, we're now told, is charged with second-degree assault in Pikeville. Michael Holland allegedly verbally and physically assaulted Shannon Hay on July 5th at 4:30 in the morning. He was escorting Hay to isolation when the incident happened. Jail officials immediately suspended Holland when they heard about the alleged assault.
The jail acted quickly, swiftly, and efficiently, and that's the reason in 2 or 3 days we wrapped up an investigation and took it before a grand jury. So it was super transparent for us and along with the jail administrative staff.
The grand jury met today. We are told the charges could be upgraded, and we'll have more on that tonight at 11. 3 Pike County family members facing federal drug charges were sentenced this week. These 3 people, Roy, Shirley, and Larry Blankenship, all pleaded guilty to cocaine trafficking. During an 8-year period, the 3 brought drugs in from out of state and distributed them in the Stopover community. Roy Blankenship was sentenced to 85 months in prison, while the other 2 were sentenced to 34 and 33 months. Today at the Floyd County Library, Eastern Kentucky's Passport Health spoke about the effects of vaping. The program is aimed at educating elementary-aged children on why vaping is not a safe alternative to cigarettes. Health educator Jason Osborne says he's had a kid as young as 3rd grade say they have tried it before.
Flavors is a big one. There's a lot of kids that would never touch a cigarette, but they see something that's strawberry flavor, and that's clearly marketed to someone younger, not an adult.
Passport Health's hope is that by educating them early, they can make better decisions on their own. A Middlesboro man says he and his son with special needs had a lawnmower stolen from his yard yesterday. Now they say they do not know what to do, as mowing lawns is their source of income. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to the father and son about the theft.
Bobby Hunter and his son Sean spend their summer days outside working hard for a living.
I mow lawn, weed eat, landscape, the whole works.
Doctors say it has been the best thing for Sean as he is autistic. And when asked if he enjoys the work.
Let me tell you, yes, I do.
The Hunters enjoyed making a living and spending quality time together at the same time. That was until Tuesday, when the Hunters came home to pick up their lawnmower for a job in Tennessee.
And it's gone. I thought, well, maybe, you know, first thing came to mind, well, it's up in the front yard.
But it wasn't there either. A nearby surveillance camera caught someone taking the trailer and lawnmower and driving off. Now, they're left pleading to get them back.
I want what belongs to me back. What belongs to me and my son, our business, back. Something we've invested, worked very, very hard to get.
The hunters ask if anyone has any information on the thefts to call the Middlesboro Police Department. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Hunter says there is a $200 reward for anyone that leads police to the trailer and lawnmower. The city of Middlesboro received a grant that will allow them to renovate one of its parks. Mayor Rick Nelson says earlier in the year the city had the opportunity to apply for a grant to put down rubber on the Ford's Wood Park. Nelson says the poured placemat will be around 2 to 3 inches thick and make the playground safer.
I know we got a lot of needs for our playgrounds and things, but you got to start somewhere, and we're not going to turn the grant down, and we're going to go with it and try to enhance our playground.
Nelson says the project will cost around $70,000 and is possible thanks to grant money from the state. A community art project was vandalized in Prestonsburg during Star City Day last week. Community members contributed to the creation of 2 hanging murals. A lot of kids painted for hours, creating a work of art the city planned to use as a long-term fixture in the area. Today, city officials discovered that the 2 hanging pieces were vandalized by spray paint. Jenna McGuire says the community will rise above this vandalism, adding that she hopes to help create new pieces of makeup for the art that was lost. She says this act of vandalism says a lot about the state of mind of those involved.
This was full of love. This was full of beauty, and either they felt like their artwork was more important than all the other people that had participated in this, or so much beauty and so much light made them feel uncomfortable.
Mayor Les Stapleton says the vandalism is under investigation and they have received tips that he hopes will lead them to the culprits.
And we're going to start to see those temperatures cool off as we head into the next couple of days. That means more rain's on the way as well. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
And next, he shined on and off the field. Today, a final farewell to one of the most memorable players to put on a Kentucky football uniform.
When you see